Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Courtney. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, please make sure that you guys like and subscribe to my channel and make sure that your notifications are turned on so you can always be notified when I post and keep up with everything I'm doing. So today's going to be another story time. I know I've been busy the past few weeks or past month with just a lot of try-on hauls. I just wanted to get those out there because I just been so busy and it's been a lot going on. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get in right into it. So this story time is an old one. So it was back when I was like in my late teens, like 18, 19 or something like that. And I was still living in Baltimore around this time. So around that time, it was probably about the year 2020, early 20, either late 2015 or early 2016. I know it was around that time frame because after 2016, 2017, I wasn't even in Baltimore anymore. I was in West Virginia. So it was somewhere around that time. And when you're a young girl, especially in Baltimore, you talk to a couple dudes or whatever, especially when you're not like serious with anyone. And I wasn't serious with anyone at the time. Yes, I was entertaining Crazy. I'm sure if you know about Crazy, you've seen some of my previous story times about him and stuff like that. But he was doing a lot. He was doing way too much, and he had me in a lot of drama. But at the same time, I was still being delusional and like trying to put it in my mind like this dude was not entertaining other people, or this dude did not want his baby mother, when that was the reality of it. And then years later, everything just came to the light. And oh my goodness, please just learn from me. Don't be delusional. Like if the signs are there and females are reaching out to you and doing all this stuff, and especially texting you through the dude's phone and stuff like that, please don't go through that. Please do not go through what I went through, because dudes are gonna lie, women are gonna be delusional, whether it's you or the other woman, and it's just always gonna be a whole bunch of drama that you don't have time for. And like I said, around this time, I was definitely trying to fill a void because I was definitely missing Crazy a lot. And I'm just used to Crazy. He'll talk to me for an here and there. We'll talk, we'll do this and that. And then he would just disappear. And I wouldn't hear from him for a while, maybe a few months or so like that, because he was entertaining other people. He had a whole other relationship. And plus, he was also cheating on that other person with multiple women, which I found out later on. That also, don't be no second choice for no dude ever. Like if y'all talking or something, that's one thing, but if you were trying to be serious with somebody and he's clearly in a relationship or entertaining someone else who he considers to be above you, don't entertain that. Just leave it alone. It is not worth it. Please just don't make the same dumb mistakes that I made, like, you know. But yeah, anyway, I think, so what happened? Like, I was just, I was working around this time, just mind my business. I was still living with my peoples or whatever in Baltimore. I was living with my aunts. And I think one day, was I on the bus? No. Yeah, I didn't have a car, so I was driving the bus, like whether I was going to the mall, going to the store, going to get something to eat, going to hang out with friends. I was catching the bus. I was not opposed to catching the bus. Now, you can't even, I catch an Uber or a cab before I catch a bus. Like, I was not on that type of time. But back then, like, I would do anything, even by any means, even if it means catching a bus, walking anywhere, riding a bike, I will do it to get to where I need to get to. So I believe I was at Mondawmin at this time, and I was catching a bus there. And you know what's freaking crazy? I don't know how I met this dude. I don't know how I met him. So I'm gonna give him a name, just for the story time. It's not going to be any other story times about him because he's completely irrelevant to my life or anything that's going on. And he turned out to be a whole weirdo. It just proved my point. It's like I was trying to get over one person, and then I ended up dealing with somebody else who turned out to be another weirdo. Okay, I'm gonna get there. So I caught a bus to Mondawmin. If you're from Baltimore, you know what Mondawmin Mall looks like, where it is and stuff like that. I'm not pretty sure like how it's holding up now, because I really don't go out there like that due to my PTSD, and just I don't have a lot of people I'm close with out there, and I don't have a lot of people that I can trust other than my aunts or stuff like that. So I really don't like to go out there to visit much and keep up with anything it's just a lot of trauma that comes from being out there and living out there. So I'd just rather not go. But um I believe I caught a bus to Mondawmin, and I don't know what I was doing. I don't know if I was eating something or going shopping or looking for something. Mondawmin Mall don't have a lot of stuff either. It was just like, ugh, like some malls, it's just, they're okay. The most part, the most you'll get out of it is just going to the hair store or something like that. But anyway, this dude had came up to me. Shoot, I didn't give him a name. Dang it. Well, I'll call him. I don't really care about. Okay, you know what? Just to be on the safe side, because I don't need nobody like trying to come for me or do anything crazy. Um. So I think I'll just call him Zeke or something. Just Zeke. So um I guess Zeke like kind of approached me when I was like doing something. I cannot remember what the freak I was doing. I was doing something. Um and he pretty much was trying to talk to me. He pretty much was saying like, like what's your name, like where you from, or where you live at. The basic stuff that dudes, especially in Baltimore, will ask you. So, I told him my name and stuff like that, where I was from, where I was staying at and stuff. Not like exactly where I was staying, not the exact address and everything, but just telling him like, where I be at and stuff like that. So he pretty much asked me for my number, pretty much asked, can we like hang out sometime and get to know each other? So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm thinking, because I forgot, when I tell you this dude is so irrelevant, like it's not even not irrelevant, like not, because I don't even have no beef with him, despite him being a weirdo, being on some weird mess. I don't have a issue with him. But yeah, we pretty much had exchanged numbers and stuff. We talked a little bit. We text here and there. I don't think we ever talked on the phone. I think it was always just text messaging. And I can understand I wasn't really pressed either, because it's like I don't really know you like that. We cool and stuff, but that's about it. But it kind of gradually fell off as time went on. So, but I ain't paid no mind, because it was just like someone to just entertain, just to take my mind off of Crazy and all his BS that came along with him. And I think we did kind of fall off for a little bit, but it was crazy because it had to have been like maybe a month, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little month and a half. We had stopped talking and stuff like that. We were just texting, weren't really talking like that. And I saw him again on the bus, but this is the crazy thing. I don't know where. I think I was coming home from work, or I was on my way to work. I was going somewhere. I don't know. But he was on the bus and he was standing up, because if you're on those NTA buses like in Baltimore, it can get really, really packed, because it's a lot of people that drive, but it's also a lot of people that don't drive. So it's a lot of people on that bus that will be standing up and holding those rails, or holding those bars to keep themselves from falling, because the buses can drive a little crazy. It's a lot of people on there. It's people sitting down. You got to watch for it. So you have to be careful when you're doing that. So I'm just minding my business on a bus ride. Like, yeah, I didn't think anything of it. And I kind of looked up a little bit and I saw this dude. He's like real tall. He had like a face mask on though. Like he had and it wasn't like, this was way before the pandemic, so it wasn't any of that. It was just like, I guess around that time, a lot of dudes would wear ski masks and stuff, whether they were on the bus, whether they're at work. It wasn't as popular as it is now, like wearing those face masks or ski masks and stuff like that, or just wearing a bandana around your mouth, whatever. But he was covered up, so I couldn't understand. Didn't know who he was, and he kept staring at me, just like it's like he was smiling, but his face was covered, so I couldn't see his mouth. But I could tell he was just staring at me, like looking at me. It wasn't in a bad way. It was a kind of like, yeah, like I think you cute kind of look. And I was just like, why is he staring at me? Like, he's getting on my nerves. Like, I'm trying to get my destination. Why I always got to be a dude on a bus, on a train, standing somewhere? Why is it always got to be somebody trying to talk to you? And there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. It was creeping me out. I was like, what are you staring at? So I don't know. I'm very feisty. So if you staring at me or you looking at me or something, I'm like, hello, like, what is it? Like, I just like to get right to the point, because what are you looking at? So I asked him, I said, all right, can I help you? Like, are you okay? Like, and he was just like, I didn't recognize his voice, because like I said, I had not talked to Zeke. I had not heard from Zeke since that time that he had got my number. We had got exchanged numbers. Like, we didn't really talk on the phone. I think we might have talked on the phone once, but it wasn't like I said, it was nothing serious. So I didn't take it like that serious. But I was just wanted to know, who is this mystery man that is being a weirdo, staring at me on this bus, like interrupting my peaceful bus ride? Like, come on, it's only 1 in a million chance that you get to have a peaceful bus ride on the NTA driving through Baltimore. Like, let's be real. And if you're from Baltimore or you visited Baltimore, you've been on the bus, if you know, you know. Like, it just is what it is. So I was just like, can I help you? And he was just like, Courtney, like, you don't, like, Courtney, you don't know who I am or whatever. And I was like, no, you got a whole, your face is covered. How am I supposed to know? And so he took his face mask down, and then I was like, oh, like, okay. So then I started laughing and smiling, like, okay, all right, I got it. All right, Zeke, it's clearly you. Okay. So we start talking, and just, just catching up and stuff like that. So pretty much was just telling him everything that I had going on. He's telling me what he had going on, little stuff, nothing too major. And we pretty much just confirmed, like, this your number, like, this my number or whatever. So we pretty much started talking and texting after that. I don't even remember if my stop was before his or after his, but I think he did get off before me. I believe so. But we did just make sure, like, okay, just keep in touch. Like, I'm going to hit you up, talk to you. Let's hang out sometime. Okay, after that, little fast forward, we're, talking, texting and stuff like that, sending each other pictures, just nothing crazy, not them kind of pictures. No, not them kind of pictures. So, yeah, we pretty much had just decided, like, he pretty much was like, do you want to, hang out sometime, like go on a little date or just do something just simple, whatever, nothing crazy. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's fine. And then it's crazy because we had met up. We met at, back at Mondawmin Mall. Because I was like, I don't need nothing crazy. Like, we can go to the movies. We can go, like, get something to eat from the food court. Like, we can just chill. Like, I'm really not on that. And I don't really think I had any, like, real dressy clothes to wear for, like, a real date anyway. Like, I had a little, a couple of dollars in my pocket, and I had clothes and stuff, but nothing really dressy. Like, I like to dress nice and look good, but this was way before my girly era, so I wasn't really into, not that I wasn't into it, I just didn't have access to anything. So we decided to meet up. Fast forward, I think it's probably like a couple days, if not a week later, we decided to meet up at Mondawmin. And, we just hanging out, we getting something to eat, we just walking around. And he was pretty much dressed up. Like, Zeke was dressed up. Like, he had on a button-up shirt, a sweater vest, and some, like, dress pants, like some, like, kind of like khakis. And I was just like, he ain't have to get dressed up for me. Like, especially we just going to Mondawmin. I said, but, everybody has their own way of dressing up. Because I'm the same way now as I get older. I like to dress up, and even if I'm just going to the store or the supermarket or something, I like to, you like to represent yourself or present yourself a certain way, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people may find it weird, or they may not like it. That's on you. If you gonna be cool with me or be friends with me or be with me in general, like, this is who I am, you just got to get used to it. Jordan had to get used to it. My mom had to get used to it. My family had to get used to it. You just got to get used to it, or you don't have to be around me. And I don't care. So I completely understand, like, where Zeke is coming from. And I didn't mind because I thought he looked nice. Like, I like sweater vests. They're cool, whatever. Like, he looked nice. He had his hair all done up, and, I think, like, he had, I don't think he had, like, locks, but I think he had, like, braids or, like, twists in his hair, something like that. But it looked nice. Like, he presented himself well, and he was around he was older. Like, he had been in his late 20s, early 30s at this time. And me, I'm just like 18, probably like 19. So he's a little bit much older than me, actually. Yeah, much older. But yeah, we had a pretty good time. I think he invited his friend, his homeboy with him. which I can kind of understand because you kind of have to be in Baltimore. And when you're in Baltimore or just DC, New York, just places like that, if I had had homegirls at the time, I would have probably invited them too with me just to be on the safe side, because you never know what type of time people be really on, especially with a man. Me being by myself, he's much older. We probably gonna be out a little bit later. You got to be on your P's and Q's with some people, because some people do try to set you up. Some people be trying to scam. Some people be trying to, you never know what people are trying to do out there. You got to be careful in general, but just out there in the city especially, you definitely have to be careful and, you know, protect yourself. So he had brought his friend, and his friend was nice. Like, his friend was real goofy. Like, we were just all joking and just having fun, just hanging out throughout the mall, just doing stuff. I don't think we met his friend, though, until after we left the mall. I don't think he was there. I don't remember him at the mall with us when we were, like, you know, getting stuff to eat and doing stuff. But so far, Zeke was, like, really presenting himself, like, you know, he was carrying himself like he was a real gentleman. And I really just, you know, I appreciate that. Like, just, you know, be respectful. You don't got to do the most. You don't got to try to impress me. Let's just have a good time and try to, you know, get to know each other and just enjoy each other's company. It's not really not that deep, like, for me. I've always been like that. So after a while, we leave Mondawmin Mall. It's been like maybe an hour or so. It's pretty much dark out there now. He wasn't driving either, so we both were taking a bus, and I think that's when he had met his friend, and his friend was just, you know, they were joking, laughing. They were joking with me the whole time, just laughing, having fun. And Zeke, he was real, like, he really looked out. I appreciate that, because back then, you know, I used to smoke a little tree, and, you know, I definitely drunk a lot. I still drank, which, by the way, side note, I'm probably going to stop drinking well, I know I'm definitely going to stop drinking because I ain't even going to say it. I'm going to just be quiet. But I'm definitely going to stop drinking towards the end of this year. And also, next year, I probably will drink one more time maybe on my birthday. I don't celebrate birthdays, but I'll probably drink one more time just to celebrate being able to drink. And then I think I'm going to be done with drinking. But anyway, back to the story. So, you know, we're waiting for the bus. We're having a good time, just chilling. But I think we were doing a whole bunch around that time. We were going to get something to eat. We were going to get liquor. I think he had already brought the liquor, though, so we were cool. But, you know, he said, do you smoke or whatever? And I was like, yeah. So he was like, all right. So he got something for us to smoke or whatever. I was like, oh, yes. I was like, okay. Before I was a liquor head or a little alky, whatever you want to call it, I was a tree head, like, really, really bad. I was a tree head so bad. I'm glad I stopped, though, because it was bad. When you got asthma and you get to a certain age, it ain't meant for you, boo. It ain't meant for you. Don't do it. Especially if you has asthma. Do not do it. Please don't do it. So, you know, we smoking, we drinking, we just chilling. After a while, we get on the bus. You know, we talking, just, you know, I'm feeling good. We know we're both feeling good. We're just having a good time. And actually, to be honest, I don't even think the friend was with us anymore. It's been so long. I'm sorry. I do know the friend was with us for a while, like before you know, in getting on the bus. I think we parted ways with him before we got on the bus. And, you know, we get on the bus and everything. We're talking, just laughing, chilling, stuff like that. And then I think we had to catch a train, because depending on where your location is or where you live at, sometimes you have to catch a bus to where you got to go. Sometimes you got to catch 2 buses. Sometimes you got to catch a bus to a train to another bus to get home. Sometimes it's just all over the place in Baltimore. So, you know, by the time we got on the train, you know, I was feeling a little good. I was feeling good. And I know he was feeling good. So, I don't know. We just ended up like kissing each other. We just ended up like kissing and just like talking and stuff like that, because I really did like him. I really did enjoy his company, and I really just, you know, I really liked the fact that he was just respectful. He wasn't just on that type of time. It's like, you know y'all like each other, you know you want each other and stuff like that, but you're still being respectful, and you're taking it as, you know, taking it as a steady pace and just seeing where everything goes. And I like that, you know. And also, this, once again, was a distraction from crazy. So it felt really good to just have that attention and have somebody. Not that I never really got the attention. It was just, you, depending on your circumstances, depending on where you are, depending on how you carry yourself, depending on how many friends you have, depending on where you be at. I'm not the type of girl to be out and all over the place. I go out, but I'm very much in the cut and to myself. So I can see why I wouldn't be around a lot of guys or around a lot of people and stuff like that. So we were just enjoying each other's company and just, having fun or whatever. So by the time, I got to my exit and stuff like that, he'll watch me get off and whatever to get to my destination, get where I need to go. I go home. We talking and texting, just same old stuff. But it started getting a little bit more, like, it started to get more explicit. Like, we started texting, like, a little bit more differently. Yeah. So, I'm sure, like, y'all can put two and two together. Yes. So, we started, it started getting a little bit more hot and heavy, so to speak. And, I started really, like, I liked him. Like, I really liked him. He was cool. But after a while, it started getting weird. Like, I just stopped hearing from him. And, I'm that type of person, like, if we not, we're not serious, whatever, we talking. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind a dude reaching out to me, but I'm also not afraid to reach out to that guy also. So I was just like, that's weird. Like, like, what happened to him or whatever. So I started calling him and texting him and stuff like that. He wasn't answering. And at first, it would just be like, I'm calling him, it'll ring a couple times, and then it'll go voicemail. And then after a while, it started going straight to voicemail. And I was like, So I was like, that's weird. I was like, I hope he did not freaking block. I thought, did he block me? Like, okay, maybe he didn't. Maybe it was something that he saw that when we hung out or something that he didn't like. Maybe it was, but I don't know. It's just, it couldn't be something that you didn't like because you was going along with everything. Not that, I don't know. It was weird. He just stopped answering texts and calls and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. And, after a while, I was like, okay, I'm not going to chase you. You're not my man. We're not together. And obviously, whatever the issue is, you clearly don't want to talk or be bothered or anything anymore. And I'm not going to convince you. I'm not going to press you about the situation. So, it is what it is. So after a while, I just left it alone. It was like, okay. But I feel like once you get older, I've ghosted some people. People have ghosted me. I feel like that's just life. So is it right? No. But at the end of the day, that's how some people just move. So at that moment, I just thought maybe he lost interest. Maybe he was drinking and then he got sober and was like, okay, I'm not interested in pursuing this any further. Or maybe he was like, oh, she didn't give it up fast enough. I don't want to pursue this any further. Or, it could be a million different scenarios on why it didn't go the way it should have gone. And that's fine. But after a while, I gave up on it. And I did ask my aunt. I was just like, what happened? Like, I don't understand, like, I don't get it. Because believe it or not, I got started with guys later on in my life. Probably, like, 16, 17. So the way that other women had a head start with dealing with guys and stuff, I didn't have that because I grew up in a Christian household. I grew up as a witness. We wasn't doing that. We didn't have boyfriends. We wasn't bringing dudes home. We wasn't doing all that. At least I wasn't, especially at that age. I think my older sisters were probably already involved in experience, but I wasn't because I was the baby at the time. So I don't know nothing about no dudes. I don't know nothing about sex or anything. Of course, at that time, I was 18, 19. I knew about it. I was involved in stuff. But as far as dealing with guys and dating and everything, I've had probably one relationship in high school. And before that, I nothing serious. Like, I wasn't familiar with guys, so I didn't know anything about that. So this was just new to me, especially something being casual. So the whole ghosting thing, the whole disappearing act, I definitely was new to. I wasn't used to it. But my aunt just explained to me, like, Courtney, like, don't worry about it. It's fine. Like, just, that's him. If you don't chase after no dude, don't do anything. Don't try to, understand the situation or try to analyze it in your mind. It is what it is. He chose what he wanted to do, and let him be that. And I wouldn't talk to him or discuss it any further. And so I was like, okay, I did feel weird about it, but I was like, you are right. We don't know each other like that. We did talk a little bit about, about certain stuff, but at the same time, I felt like I really didn't know him. Mind you, he never told me, he didn't really tell me about his family. He didn't really tell, he just told me basically where he was from, where he was living at, just simple things. So fast forward. This is fast forward. I'm in West Virginia now. It had to have been, that was like late 2015 or early 2016. This is like 2017, 2018. People coming up in your friends' suggestions and stuff and Facebook and everything, depending on who you follow from Baltimore, who you follow from West Virginia, Hagerstown, everything. So he had popped up in my friends' suggestions because I had searched him a couple of times when I was still living in Baltimore, just because I knew he had a Facebook, but we did not follow each other on social media. And I thought that was kind of a good idea, because it's just like, even with Crazy, just follow him on Facebook. We would follow each other. I felt like he only did that to try to keep up with me, to see if I was dealing with somebody else. And then once he saw he wasn't, he knew he was in a relationship, so he had no business doing that. He would unfollow me, or whenever I would try to request to follow him on Instagram or Facebook or something, he would delete the request or something. Like, he would just do weird stuff. So the fact that me and Zeke were not following each other on Facebook and something like that, it did not bother me, because I just didn't want to be put in a weird situation again like that. Like, that's weird. And I didn't know he had this whole family situation going on with his baby mother, with Crazy. But that's what it was. And it kind of explained why he was doing all the stuff he was doing. You want to keep tabs on me, but you still want to keep your little family and stuff on the side, which is really freaking weird. But anyway, he had popped up in my Facebook suggestions. So I was like, he looked familiar. Like, who is that? So I click on it, and, I was like, oh, this is Zeke. Oh my God. Like, it's been years. I have not seen him. I don't know what he up to or whatever. And when I was on Zeke's page, I did look on his Facebook page years ago. It was just more of that kind of page where he has his cover photos, profile pictures and stuff, like just simple stuff of himself. Nothing, no regular pictures, no mobile uploads. You know how Facebook is, or Instagram is. When you follow that person, if it's private page, if you follow them, you're able to see what's the content that they have on their page. So, but this time he had all his pages, his pictures and stuff public. So I go on his page or whatever, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen him in a minute. Like, dang, that's crazy. And so his profile, you can see on his uploads and everything, I see all these pictures of his kids. I see a picture of a girl, probably close to around his age. They're in pictures together. They're in pictures with the kids. There's pictures of himself, just pictures of everything, mostly him and his family. And I was just like, wait a minute. I said, no, maybe this is his sister or whatever. I don't even know why I was even worried about this at this point, because there's no reason to be. But I looked at it, and, I looked at the captions and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, my forever, the mother of my child, my fiance. I believe they were engaged. at the time. I don't know what their status is now. I don't care. But then, they have a few kids together. Like, I don't even remember how many kids they have, like 2 to 3, but they had 2 or 3 kids together. And I was just like, and these were long back. I looked at the dates, because mind you, I said 2015, late 2015 to early 2016 was when I'm dealing with him or talking to him. And all the timelines, they matched up perfectly. They matched up so perfectly. And I was just like, this ninja had a family on the side the whole time. You're weird. Like, why would you have a whole baby mama / fiance? I don't think they were engaged at the time, but they definitely were dealing with each other, and she's definitely the mother of your child. And you have kids. You never even mentioned kids at all. Like, And I just feel like as a man or just as a person, if you don't bring that up or you deny your kids or don't bring your kids up in any way, I just feel like that just makes you less of a person. Like, who does that? You didn't have to do any of that. It's like you just kept your whole life a complete lie, like a complete secret. That was just weird. And the fact that you're dealing with this woman, have a life with her, and y'all engaged, so to speak. I don't know when they got engaged. I just know that they were supposedly engaged. It's all these pictures with them together. And I was just like, that's freaking crazy. And that's probably why he decided to ghost me, because he was doing some stuff on the side. He knew he had no business doing. She probably found out about it, maybe or maybe not. And he decided to just like stop talking to me altogether. And he probably blocked me. I don't know. But I was just like, yo, dudes are so weird. You weird. If that you want to do all that, just go be with your family. Like, just go do what you need to do. Like, why are you interrupting somebody else's peace or interrupting somebody else that has other things going for themselves? Like, not that you, just because you have family and stuff, you don't have to go on for yourself. Not that he didn't have anything going for himself, but you literally have you have other priorities you need to be worried about. You out here trying to be young and be single and be a turn up man, like turn up king. You need to be sitting your tail down somewhere, taking care of your kids and your family. I was just like, oh my goodness, like you really don't know anymore. And to be honest, I think maybe after him, maybe after the other dude, I'm getting to that too sooner or later, the other dude. But I think this is why I don't date dudes from Baltimore anymore. Like, I don't judge. I love Baltimore. I love my city. I love, where I'm from. I'm proud of where I'm from. But the men there, they are a piece of work. A lot, not all of them, but a lot of them. They are a piece of work. And that's too much to deal with. Like, it's way too much. And, I don't know. That was just so crazy to me. Because it's like you had a whole family the whole time. You did that the whole time. And you didn't even have to do that. Like, number one, you shouldn't even have approached me. You didn't even have to approach me and do that. That was weird. That was the weird part. But yeah, I just I let that go. I think I had I don't know if I blocked him or not, but later on down the line when I got involved with California and all that drama, I had already made a new page and stuff, and half the people that were blocked or that I wasn't following anymore, I didn't care anymore because I don't live in Baltimore. Y'all, I'm not around y'all. I'm not friends with anybody. We don't have mutual friends. We're not gonna be around each other. It's nothing that we really need to talk about. And him, whatever he did, it's not even about me. It's about the family that you got. So whatever stuff that happens to you, you gonna get your karma eventually, because it ain't even about me. It's about the family that you have. You got whole kids and a baby mama at home, or a person that you're supposed to be engaged to, and you entertaining somebody else, especially someone that's way younger than you. And like, I don't but yeah, that's pretty much for this story time, whatever. That was just too much. Just talking about it just had me Lord, I'm rubbing my chest. That's too much. But yeah, thank you guys for so much for watching. Once again, make sure that you guys like and subscribe to my channel. This probably will be uploaded probably Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure. Probably one of those days. But yeah, I didn't upload last week, so I just wanted to give you guys something to watch and give you guys an upload for this week. So thank you for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next time.